Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Thank you so much for joining us again. And as you can see, I'm very pleased to say I am back in the workshop. It has been an extremely busy week in Chichester, back at the repair shop filming. It's now Saturday morning, first thing, and I've got one day to try and get some progress done on the Land Rover. So not tons of time, but the weather is beautiful, the sun is shining, and I think, fingers crossed, I hope I've got everything I need to get the new engine and gearbox into the rolling chassis. I haven't got a ton of time, so we're going to get straight into it. But basically, the engine that came in the Land Rover is a Series 2 engine. It's not right for the car, it's a later engine, and it is completely rusty and seized solid. The engine and gearbox and all the linkages are completely seized up. So I'm very fortunate, I've had a bit of a win-win situation. I've found an original Series 1 2-litre engine and a recently rebuilt gearbox that have come out of a running and driving Series 1. They were fairly local as well, which is even better. So I get to replace the engine and gearbox with more suitable period correct stuff, and they've come out of a running and driving Land Rover. Yes, they're not perfectly pristine and freshly rebuilt. They leak just enough oil to know that they've got oil in them. They are running and working, and that is the most important thing. So in this episode, we are going to get them bolted together, cleaned up, and hopefully, if everything goes to plan, and I've got all my nuts and bolts and brackets ready, we're going to get them in the rolling chassis, and we're getting very close to actually being able to start it up. We're not far away now. Trying to get the engine and gearbox joined together on my own was quite precarious. I was maybe slightly ambitious by trying to think that I could use the jack alone to just sort of lift up the gearbox and position it in place, but the transfer case hanging out one side meant it was completely off balance and wobbly, and I could not do it. So I ended up employing the forklift first of all to just sort of lift the gearbox. Actually got it quite nice and even on the straps, which is good, and then try to maneuver it in place just as John turned up to pick up his digger and dumper from doing all the work in the field. Perfect timing. He loves this sort of stuff, and it took no convincing him to get involved, get stuck in, and get the engine and gearbox pushed together, slotted together, making sure, being very careful to get the splines attached, and there was that very satisfying dunk as it just located into place. And I very quickly put some nuts onto those studs that stick out the engine, and I'm very pleased to say the engine and gearbox are now bolted together. This engine and gearbox are very oily and greasy. Now I've lowered them onto a pallet. I'm going to take that around to the front of the house, give it a bit of a degrease and a bit of a wash and a clean off. Nothing crazy. I'm not going mad. I'm just trying to get the worst of this oily grease off. So let's get it on the forklift and get around to the front of the house. And we can have a look at the wall whilst we're around there. Okay, that's the engine, degreased, pressure washed and cleaned and back in the workshop. Now that's probably never going to run again. I purposely didn't soak all of the distributor and the electrics and inside the carb, so I was careful, don't worry. But yes, I know not ideal to be pressure washing an entire engine, but it's done and it looks good. It's much, much cleaner. I now need to spend some time sifting through, reading and studying my parts book, trying to work out what nuts and bolts and washers I've got, which order they go in, which side of the chassis the mounts and the bolts go on. I'm excited to get the engine in place, but not looking forward to sifting through and trying to make sense of all of these rubber washers and spacers and bushings. I'll be very pleased once this is done and the engine and gearbox are mounted in the chassis. A few little things have caught me along the way. There's a crush tube and a spacer. The idea of the spacer wasn't big enough so the crush tube wouldn't slide through it. It was very close but not quite, and it didn't look right to me. Good old Jake, who rebuilt my axles, helped me out. A quick message and a couple of photos, and he put me right. So a little modification needed to a couple of the parts to get everything lining up and sliding through where it wants to go. But we're there, which is really good, and I've got all of the bits laid out on the bench. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, but some of the pieces aren't quite the right shape, but you don't know which ones are the wrong shape, and I don't dare modify something that shouldn't be modified. I'm pretty confident, fingers crossed, I've got it all sorted. So I'm going to get the front engine mounts bolted onto the engine and the gearbox mounts on the gearbox, and we can try and drop it in. I tried to pick it up from the front and put it into the front of the chassis, but that clearly didn't work. My forks aren't long enough to reach in far enough. So I had to take it back out, wheel the chassis back, get the pallet out and drop it back down onto the pallet, come in from the side, pick it back up again, get it up in the air, clear underneath, roll the chassis forwards, and then fight with trying to lower it down. The engine was slightly crooked, sort of leaning over one way, so the near side to the engine mounts went in first. It was a bit of a fight to try and get everything lining up, and one would drop in, then the other one wouldn't quite line up, then I'd have to go up, then the front one would fall out. It was a bit of a faff. It may have taken a while, but it's in. I'm now going to tighten up the nuts and bolts, make sure all the washers and spacers are in the right place, get everything tightened up, and that's it. The engine and gearbox are mounted. I'm so pleased. The engine is in. The gearbox mounts, the engine mounts, everything has lined up perfectly, which is again a huge well done and thank you to Shielder Chassis for welding on all of these brackets in exactly the right place. I haven't had to re-drill or oval out or open out any holes. They've just bolted straight in place. I couldn't be happier. Well done, Shielder Chassis. This is so typical. Just as I was putting the last bolt on the last gearbox mount, I've dropped the nut in to the rear gearbox cross member, which is a closed box section, and it just nice and gently rolled down inside the box section and is now in no man's land in the middle, and I can't get it out. So I'm trying to fish it out with a piece of welding wire bent into a hook. When I'm up against it for time, it's so typical. Yes, got it. I'm going to get this bolted in place finally. I'm so pleased with how this has all gone together. Everything has lined up so well. That's it. Engine and gearbox in.
There's a record spinning in my mind, with scratches on the B-side. You're a record spinning in my mind.
This really is quite a big moment to get the engine and gearbox bolted in. I know it looks like it hasn't taken very long in the video, but this has been a long time coming. A lot of homework and prep and ordering and sourcing parts and bits and bobs and working out where it all goes. To get it in and everything lining up perfectly and it all bolting down nicely is such a rewarding moment. I'm over the moon. And there is really not a great deal more I can do to the chassis. I still need to do the steering relay, but I'm not doing that now. I think we've done enough chassis progress for a while. Shall we start on some bodywork? And I'm going to start at the front and work back. So let's get the front panel on the bench, strip that down and see what we're working with. Here we go. So this is the front panel of the Series 1. It's got the aluminium sort of front face. It has a steel galvanized mesh grille on the front, obviously the headlights. And then behind it, it has the radiator, which is incredibly heavy, and then a sort of fold out bonnet stay on the side of it. For anybody that has been commenting, questioning what I'm actually keeping from the original, and this is turning into Trigger's broom and I'm just building a new one, I'm about to prove you wrong, because I'm going to keep a lot of this. I'm going to strip it down, clean it, replate it, rebuild it, paint it, and keep all of these pieces. So from now on, a lot of the bodywork, the doors, the wings, the bonnet, the rear tub, the strengtheners, the panel, a lot of the rest of what's going on to the chassis are all the original pieces. So really restoring all of these pieces starts now. And just like that, I've got the entire front panel stripped down. I did again have to cut pretty much all of the hardware off because it was so rotten, rounded off. I mean, the heads of the bolts were not even hexagonal anymore. It turns out this front end is actually much earlier than the rest of the car. It's not original to the Series 1. It is actually from an 80-inch one from, I think, 52-ish, and my car is 57. The 57s came with a steel front panel, which obviously has rotted away at some point in its life, and someone's changed it for this much earlier aluminium one. It's not correct for the car, but it's the one that I've got at the moment. So for now, I'm going to keep hold of it, make the repairs that I need to do, and paint it, and put it on the car. And one day, if a correct 88-inch steel one turns up, I'll probably change it. But for now, I'm going to keep going with this one. I've got a little crack at the bottom, which I need to repair. I've got bends and dings and dents on the front panel. It's sort of twisted and slightly out of shape. I need to straighten that up. And I'm going to try and get the entire panel, as well as a couple of other bits, blasted and stripped back to bare aluminium so I can do those repairs that I need to and get it prepped for paint. But unfortunately, it's the weekend and anyone that's got any blasting equipment is not open today, so that's going to have to wait for another time. But just so you know, that'll be happening in the background, and the next time you see this panel, it'll be stripped and ready for some welding and some paint. As we're on a roll with the Land Rover progress, I thought I'd share more good news with you. I've had a Facebook Marketplace find, which is quite rare because things move so quickly on Facebook Marketplace, but this popped up down the road, not far from me at all, and it's something I've been looking for a long time. And it's going to make my little tractor, my BMC Mini, a lot more useful. I have it in the back of my 110 Defender. Let me get the forklift fired up, grab it out the back and show you what I found, and let's get it attached to the tractor. The only slight issue to fitting my new back box on the tractor is I need to start it up to pull it out. And you know how tricky this thing can be to start. I haven't started it for maybe a month or so now, maybe a bit more. It's stone cold. Let's see what happens, shall we? Keep everything crossed. My poor little mini tractor will fire up. Come on. was stone cold and I've not fired it up for a long time. Oh, see? He knows he's getting a little treat. He knows he's got a treat. Absolutely brilliant. I'm over the moon for that. Replacing those glow plugs has made a huge difference. Right, now I can pull it out and get this box fitted. Yes! I am so excited about my new link box for the little tractor. This has always been the plan, to trundle up the field and take garden waste from the little garden around the house, down the field to the compost heap next to the workshop down here. There is so many like grass clippings and plants and bits of ivy and all sorts of stuff. It just gathers so quickly and it's so tricky to move it from one end of the field to the other. This little tractor with its new back box is going to be perfect for the job. I can slowly trundle up the field, not cause any damage to the ground, load up the back of the box with all the garden waste from the little garden around the back of the house, trundle it back down the field and empty it in the compost heap, and hopefully that will become some nice compost in a year or so. It's absolutely perfect. I'm over the moon, and what an end to a busy day. I'm sorry this is a short video, but my schedule at the moment filming Repair Shop and Repair Shop on the road, which we've just started filming, is absolutely manic, and I'm trying my best to keep videos going every Sunday for you. I know you appreciate it and I'm trying my best to make it happen, but at least we are chipping away with progress. Next Sunday is a big one. The new bulkhead for the Land Rover is turning up, so there'll be a big update for the Land Rover, more progress for the Series 1, the bulkhead is turning up. It's going to be a good one, and I'm going to reveal the colour that I'm painting it. So make sure you have subscribed to the channel so you get the notifications to let you know when the next video comes out. It's completely free to subscribe and really helps me out with the YouTube algorithms and all the numbers. I would really appreciate it, and hopefully see you next Sunday at 5 PM. We can get a bit more done on that Series 1. Take care. I'll see you next week.